Okay, MotoMermel fans, it is time for another which bike is the right size for your kid. And I happen to have all three of these latest bikes that we have here at our household, so I can compare them. That includes the KTM 50sx, the KTM 65sx, and the brand new KTM 85sx. So let's take a look at these. All right, so here you go. This is the 2018 KTM 50sx. This is the bigger one, not the mini. So this bike is pretty good for about the ages of, I'd say, 6 to 8 or 6 to 9. It does have the adjustable suspension, so you can raise and lower it. This is the 50cc engine and definitely will get your kid going. Don't recommend this for younger kids. If they're going from a PW50, put them right onto the KTM 50 Mini. This thing is fun to ride, and this is a true race bike. Now, the KTM 50s can be a maintenance nightmare if you don't take care of them. There's a couple things you always want to keep with you, and that is, one is a spark plug, and two is a stator. A stator goes right here, and then you got the ignition coil, and the stator connects into that ignition coil. Those things go bad a lot, making the bike a real pain in the butt to start. Of course, spark plug up there, super easy to change. Just pull off the tank and you are there. If your kid is racing, you might want to look into getting rid of the factory clutch and going with the triple grip clutch. We've been running that in here, and it is a very, very good clutch system. Really makes the bike much more snappy and does not overheat when it comes to the trail racing. For those guys doing motocross, obviously your launches are going to be pretty incredible with that. The only other part that we had to upgrade on the KTM 50 was the radiators, because they crack easily, especially if you fall. So this has an air fork up front, which comes with the pump to pump that up with adjustable rebound compression or adjustable dampening right there. So it's pretty easy to set. The rear has adjustable rebound and compression. You got that little guy right there. And then of course you can adjust the preload. For trail racing, we did add a spark arrestor on here, and those things will get gunked up with a lot of oil, so you want to make sure you clean them out often and repack the muffler. Other than that, this KTM 50 has been through 2 kids and has almost 100 hours. We only replaced the top end once, so it's been extremely durable and reliable, and we always ran the mix suggested, which was 60-1. So mostly KTM 50, great bike. Now, this is the 2018 KTM 65, which has been through 1 kid so far and has about 108 hours on it. The only thing that is shared between these 2 bikes really is the spark plug and, of course, a 12-inch tube that we can run between either one of them. Pegs, those are the same. Other than that, different air filters, different oil, different a lot of things. So KTM 65, much bigger, and you have gears. So if your kid does not know how to shift or use a clutch, that is a whole nother ball game right there. Fuel mix is the same. We run 60-1 on this as well. You can definitely see it is taller. It is a taller bike. So I would suggest maybe 9 years old, 10 years old to run this. Now, after learning how to ride the clutch, because we're doing some fun desert racing, we did add the Recluse clutch in there, which helps out for climbing those crazy boulders and doing a lot of that gnarly trail stuff. The only thing we upgraded on this over time, some brake pads. Other than that, we only did the top end 1 time, so extremely reliable, durable. Didn't change out the radiators, went through a handful of tires, added some hand guards, but other than that, KTM 65, this is a great bike and perfect for a kid's next step. Now we're getting into some serious bike here. This is the 2022 KTM 85sx, and you can see this is quite a bit bigger. Now this has maybe 2 hours on it. This is being ridden by a 12-year-old. You got gears, you got shifting. It's a much taller bike. This is the 17 wheel, so this has a 17-inch wheel and a 14-inch wheel rear. Nothing shares parts to this like the other bike, so a lot of new stuff you got to get. The suspension is pretty much pro here. You've got a air fork again with adjustable rebound. You got the dial right here. In the back, you have pretty much the top end shock, just like we have on the big bikes. You got your compression, your high-speed compression, and your dampening as well. So this bike runs a different mix of 40-to-1 and different plug. Of course, it has a way different motor that'll get you cruising pretty quick. So you can see here the height of this thing is quite a bit bigger. All right, here's Ryan. Ryan is 8 years old and 4'4". This is the KTM 50sx. So sit on that bike so you can see. That is no big deal. Easy to sit on, perfect size for him. Now let's see what it looks like on the 65 going up to the bigger bike. So with boots on and gear, and we can lower the rear suspension just a little bit, this is a good progression to the next size. And again, if they've already accomplished all the 50 riding, that the 65 is perfect to go to. Now, do you want to put your 8-year-old on an 85? Probably not. Let's see what he looks like on this big bike. Again, massive bike. Can't even get close to touching it. Probably would rip his arms off. All right, here's James, 12 years old, 5 feet tall. You can see KTM 50. It's like him riding a pit bike, definitely too small for him. But he can go up to the 65. This is the bike he just got off of. So with the suspension adjusted up, it is still okay to ride, but it's slightly smaller for him. You can see the knees are pretty bent in there, and really you can't raise it too much. So now we go to the new bike, which is the 85. And you can see the 85 is the perfect next fit. We could just lower the suspension down just a little bit, but this is the next bike in the progression of your kids and where they'll be riding. Okay, so that's comparing the 3 bikes, the KTM 50sx, the KTM 65x, and the brand new KTM 85x. So hopefully that helps you see the difference in sizing with the different kids and what bike might be a good one for yours to ride. So of course you can check out all of our other videos to see these kids riding these bikes and get the skill level that they're at, compare them to your own. So make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks. We'll see you at the next race.